Red Faction Guerrilla is a fantastic game that never gets the attention it deserves. This is a solid series and a great entry within it. While there are many elements about Guerrilla that I think would appeal to many players, the game seems to have more of a niche following. The main focus of the game is you playing as Alex, who joins up with the Red Faction to take on the EDF. Your objective is to push the EDF off of Mars. While the narrative is not the most in-depth, it does provide justification for the actions that you take throughout the game. While there are plenty of options to enjoy the destructible action, all of it feeds back into the central narrative and objective of the game. If you take down an EDF structure, the EDF will lose power in that area, and that will cause the morale of the local resistance to increase. The player's actions are actively pushing towards the goal of getting rid of the EDF. Along with that, you have the important hand in inspiring the people of Mars. In many cases, allies will come to your aid if you've inspired an area and are being attacked by the EDF. Buildings you have destroyed will stay destroyed, and this shows the impact of your actions. This act of participating in a rebellion is done very well through the gameplay. Another element that helps to convey that you're up against a large opposing force is how aggressive the EDF is when they decide to attack you. It does not take long until the EDF try to defeat you with large numbers. Since you are usually just one guy, you need to figure out the best time to attack and the best time to run away. And with this, you have a lot of tools at your disposal. You have the very useful hammer that is great for breaking down walls, for making a quick exit, or taking down a building when you have few supplies. Guerrilla provides you with a good amount of toys to use like mines, nano rifles, and plenty of explosives. The destruction is something to behold. Even with this game being an older game, the destruction is still impressive. It's so satisfying to blow up buildings and watch them crumble, or even send in a vehicle through a structure. The destruction is really well used when you decide to do some of the demolition challenges. Here you are given a set of supplies and you need to destroy a structure within a set time limit. These situations are very different than most of the game, as you're trying to look at them as a puzzle. How do I use what I have to destroy this thing? They are very satisfying when you figure out, and a great side activity. Again, what contributes to the destruction is how the structures are not scripted and all fall and break based on the actions of the player. If you want to be more calculated with your destruction, you can do that, or you can wildly go in and see where that takes you. Lastly, I do want to point out how this game gives you a sandbox with its open world. Outside of some of the rail shooting stages, you can pretty much tackle situations how you want with the weapons you want to use. You do not have to use the main entrance. You can just make a wall with your hammer and walk right in, or use that as a means to escape. You can plant some traps with your mines, or take a heavy vehicle and ram it into the base. There's plenty of options and a lot to enjoy with the campaign. Red Faction Guerrilla is one of my favorite games, and I would highly recommend you play it if you haven't. If you want a more extensive video on Guerrilla, I did a 30-minute retrospective on the game covering its development, story, and more detail on the gameplay. Thank you very much for watching.